Hello, kids. I have a very serious topic to discuss with you today, and that topic is Airwolf the movie. You guys watch Airwolf? You ever see Airwolf? It's awesome. It's a great, great show. It's not. It's not some like campy nonsense. It's really good. Uh, it's kind of an '80s Michael Mannion tranced dream of a thriller like a thriller. It's sort of in the same vein of like movies they used to make back then, like oh god, the Eastwood Firefox, the Eastwood movie Firefox, where he has to his task to go and sneak into a very dark and sinister Russia. He goes behind the Iron Curtain to steal a super jet, and it's okay. It's very much like a horror film. It's a very dark, sinister horror film, and I think Airwolf is a much kind of better version of that. What Airwolf reminds me of, when I was a kid, I knew a guy who was born in the year 1900, and he died sometime in the 90s. I can't remember what year he died, but he was a gunsmith, and he had all these cool gun parts around just around his house. His wife had passed on a long time ago. He uh, he was just an irascible old man. He remember had a spittoon he would spit tobacco into, and it was just all gross. And one time I knocked it over, and it was like ah. Uh, but he was a great dude, man. And I used to kind of always fantasize that he was like M in no wait, Q. He was like Q in the James Bond movies, like making like crazy gadgets and stuff. But he just a great dude, and he had this wall of paperbacks. There were all these very kind of masculine thrillers. I can't remember what the titles of any of them were, but it was stuff like Mac Bolan. I wonder if he may have had some like Remo Williams in there. It was just tough, masculine kind of thrillers, kind of books. And I always, when he died, they had an estate sale, and you watched a bunch of vultures come through and like pick through all his stuff. It was really disturbing. And I wanted to buy his book collection, but somebody else bought them. They had an auction out. And I was like, can I bid on this? And it was like, 55, 55, no, sold for some asshole for a couple $100. I don't know, but it sucked because I really want those books. I should have just broken there and stole them. But yeah, so Airwolf, the movie, makes me think. It feels like the actualization of what one of those books would have been. You know what I mean? I've never read any of those books, but that's what I picture in my mind when I think of those books. Yeah, so I got a nice little warm, nostalgic glow from that. Yeah. I also off topic, but the movie Jake Speed, while suffering, I think a pretty serious miscasting issue with the main guy, or maybe it's just a weird not being able to determine what clearly determine like what the hero of that movie is supposed to be. But yeah, it just feels like bad miscasting. In spite of that, I love that movie because of what I just told you about. Those old paperbacks and how it kind of there's a lot of like I hate to use this word, but there's actually a lot of heart to Jake Speed, and so that's why I like, bee boo. Okay. Oh no, they're launching the nukes. It's the Libyans. No. Yeah. So Airwolf the movie's pretty great. We had Jan Michael Vincent plays Stringfellow Hawk, and man, just back then there was a whole stable of male actors who could play a character called Stringfellow Hawk and ground that in believability. He hangs out with a dude named Dom, played by Ernest Dominic, played by Ernest Borgnine. Hey kids, you may remember me as Sergeant Fatso Jitson. He's great. I love Ernest Borgnine. Uh, you might know me. Yeah, the kids today, another generation might know him as like the mermaid guy from SpongeBob. But but he's great. I love his appearance on The Simpsons back when like a guest voice on The Simpsons was like novel and unique and like, oh cool, they got, and kind of a joke in and of itself, where they would have like Spinal Tap and they have, and stuff on. Um, so yeah, man, I love Airwolf. I love the whole the TV production was just the whole like the machinery of the beast, the kind of the genius of the beast, of this like TV production in the 80s was just spot on good. Like they just knew how to film a show and get it out there, and like now maybe they didn't do it as good as the movies, but it was almost like a B movie production facility or something. And so yeah, I give it 7,000 stars. And I'm Roger Ebert.